Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again for another South Florida market update. This is for the month of March 2017. And let's get started with the big numbers as we usually do. This time I decided to combine both Dade and Broward numbers for the sake of simplicity. The point of this video is just to give you a general sense of what's going on in our region here in South Florida. So let's get started by looking at inventory levels. Look at this chart, and you're going to notice that on the far right, we've got this month's inventory. We've got a total of 44,100 units on the market currently. But if you look all the way to the left, all the way to the far left, those are last March's numbers. If you see, last March, we had 54,191. So we've seen the inventory levels drop off very steadily since last year. Okay, so next up, let's look at the number of units that were sold last month. So last month, 3,503 units were sold, and that's actually down 27% from the same time last year when we sold 4,806 last February. And although the activity in sales has dropped since last year, we've actually seen an increase in property value. So let's look at the next number, which is everybody's favorite, right? Median price ranges. So single-family home median price ranges or prices last month were $310,000. That's actually up 10%, just a little over 10% from last February. And in terms of condominiums and townhomes, the median price on those was $173,500, which is also up a little over 8% from last year. So those are great numbers, right? Property values are still going up. Now, last month I pointed out the fact that there was a huge difference, a huge gap between the number of properties that are coming on the market and the number of closed sales for the month. And I looked into that a little bit deeper because this month was very similar to last month in that aspect. Now check out this next graph and look at this. This is interesting because it's actually a trend that happens every year. It happened last year, just like it happened this year. And as you can tell there, January and February has the biggest gap. Why is that? Well, what's causing this huge gap in the months of January and February is the holiday season, the month of December. That's actually the slowest month of the year in terms of new contracts. So it's the slowest month when people are out there purchasing a home, signing contracts. So the few people that actually went into contract in December are closing 30 and 45 days later, which is January and February. That's why you see such a low amount of closings in January and last month in February. And the same thing happens with the listings. December is also a slow month for people who want to sell their home because they want to wait till after the holidays. They say, well, we'll start putting the property on the market next year in January. So there you go. That's why you see such a huge spike in new listings both in January and February. But then if you go back, let's look at last year, last March, April, and May, that gap starts to get smaller and the market, it starts to get a little more normal. And so we should expect to see the same thing this year. So what do we take away from this month's update? Well, first of all, we're noticing that although there's a huge inventory of properties, that number is actually coming down little by little, year after year. And also, we're still seeing an increase in property values. Prices are still going up both for single family and townhomes and condos. So we should continue to see the same trend unless something crazy happens like interest rates rising, which we don't see that happening anytime soon. So I'll be sure to keep you posted, and thanks for joining me. See you next month.